a sucker punch, you know?
No, I think that they're going to have so many problems that they're going to have to abandon the suppression of gold and silver.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great. So you say that good showing of the rand then this year is not significant at all?
You don't want to be there as far as I'm concerned.
It was more, I think the strength in the rand was more a relief rally based on the fact that complete anarchy didn't break out when Jacob Zuma was elected president.
I understand what you mean. Hey, you guys are great. I listen to you. I appreciate your information, and keep up the good work.
All right. Well, give them a call. You know the number?
Well, Bob, let me ask you this question. How did mining stocks do during the Great Depression?
That's a question.
Oh, gosh. Homestake went from $36 to $623 a share.
Guess that answers that question.
I guess so. And gold doubled in price.
Okay, Mr. Noel, I'll be in touch with you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Yeah, there's still, you know, I don't know what to tell people anymore. If they don't get it by now, gentlemen, I don't know if they're ever going to get it. Because, Robbie, you've heard this song and dance. How long have you been associated with Republic Trading Group?
I don't know.
3 years. About 3 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
You were there when gold was sitting around $375, $400, and well, people, you know, they saw it going up. Well, they saw it go up to 700, and then they're waiting for it to drop back to 500, which it never did. And here it is, almost doubled off of that price. And we've been, and if people believe, and they'd better believe what we are telling them, because Bob Chapman, this is what he does, ladies and gentlemen, 24/7, 365 days a year. And he sits and he charts this stuff out. Now, you've heard this before, Robbie. Well, gosh, I don't have $900 for an ounce of gold. Okay, well then, if you don't have $900, then you don't have $900, and I understand that. What people are saying is, no, I don't want to spend $900 or whatever for an ounce of gold. That's what they're saying. But
and that's okay. Let them lose their money if they're dumb enough to think that way.
You know, Bob, I've had people that actually listened to my advice, that they got out from under their homes where they could still sell them. They got out from under them. They bought gold. They bought silver. They're buying interim little properties. One guy I talked to moved into an apartment. He said, I've got the rest of my stuff in storage. My house, he said, I was so far upside down in that thing. He said, but I got out of it. At least I was able to get out and not lose my keister. He said, but what I did do was I converted all my assets over to gold and silver. And he said, I am waiting for this housing market to bottom out, which ain't going to happen for months and months and months yet. And then he said, John, you were right. It's going to be a buyer's market. Anything out there that I want, I'm going to be able to buy. Thank you. But in the meantime, where he was before, he was over-leveraged. He was in a house that was not worth what what the contract said. He was up to his eyeballs in credit card debt. He was living his life like everybody else was living it, thinking that, I'm going to live like there's no tomorrow because this is never going to end. He started to listening to what I was saying, and he started doing his own research. He got out from under all of it, and he said, now I'm sitting here quietly waiting because now I have money. Now I have an opportunity. He says, and the thing that he understood and what really grabbed me, and folks, this is what we're talking about, you are going to have choices. Whereas if you stay in this matrix and you try to ride this thing out and you do nothing for yourself, your choices, you have none. They have been limited. You are only going to be the recipient of what happens to you rather than you taking the responsibility for your own life and managing your own affairs. I don't know how many different ways I need to say this, but there it is. Tom in Florida. Hello, Tom. Tom, you there? He's not there. He dropped. Okay, Tom's not there. Tom showed up at Jekyll Island, I do believe. Tom, why did you drop? I would have liked to have talked to somebody that was down there at Jekyll Island. Is he back? Hello, Tom.
Yes, this is Tom in Florida.
Hey.
Yeah. Good to meet you again.
How are you doing? Seems like just yesterday, doesn't it?
Yeah, doesn't it? I would just like to expound on what you people are talking about in terms of, what to put your money into. And I'm not an expert. I'd like to say that right up front, but I'd like to have maybe Bob make some comment. Purchasing the actual metals itself, to me, makes perfect sense. And that's just based on common sense, certainly not on anything else. If you purchase what they call an asset, a paper asset, and this is to Bob, isn't that almost an oxymoron? I mean, a paper asset really is nothing more than a promise to pay. Is it not?
Categorically, it's much different because you own a piece of a company that is producing something, in this case, perhaps gold and silver.
But do you actually hold it in your hand?
No, the company sells it and makes money, and the more money the company makes, the more value there is to the certificate.
Tom, hang on a second. We've got a break here. We'll take the short break, come back with the conclusion of this special Tuesday edition of the National Intel Report with Mr. Chapman, Mr. Noel, and Mr. Stadtmiller. All right, we're back. Bob, were you in the middle of an answer for Tom, or Tom, were you in the middle of a question for Bob? I had forgotten.
So I'll continue. I didn't mean to get into an argument over semantics or whatever with Bob. All I was just trying to point out is actual physical possession of something certainly has higher value than a piece of paper which says, oh, indeed, you have so many shares in an ore deposit in Peru or Canada or whatever. And I'm not saying that I actually own some gold stock, whatever. I'm not denigrating that at all. I'm just saying, isn't the actual definition, when you say paper asset, to me that's an oxymoron. A paper asset an asset is a hoe or a rifle or a gallon of gasoline or a car.
Well, it's supposed to be a receipt of something of value.
Yeah. Well, until you actually realize that you don't have it. Indeed, you do not have it. Actually, you do not have it. So if you're actually sitting on it or sleeping on it or whatever, it really is in your possession. But if it's a nice certificate that says that you have so many shares of such and such stock or this or that, in a way, I look at it as not really being, it's almost like it's deceptive. Paper asset, to me, is an oxymoron.
Yeah. Bob, any comment?
No, I think certificates are more those that represent ownership in metals, perhaps, that are held by others. That's the way I look at certificates.
But an ETF is on thin ice, wouldn't you think, possibly? I mean, when you buy,
again?
This exchange-traded funds in gold, I mean, who knows whether they've even got it?
Well, with SLV, it says in their contract they can buy futures. So how much silver they got, you don't know. They're not going to tell you because you cannot access for audit. Second of all, GLD says they cannot buy contracts as opposed to physical. But who knows whether they are or they aren't? We know that they're lending gold to the government to manipulate the market. And so I won't recommend them because I'm afraid that they don't have what they say they have.
Hello.
Oh, we don't even know if they got gold in Fort Knox. By the way, Drudge is just reporting North Korea has launched another missile, and gold is off 20 cents.
The end of the world is nigh, but gold drops 20 cents. Yeah, right. All right. Hey, Tom, thanks for your call, and, hey, thanks for being down there.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. We'll see where the Continental Congress takes us, ladies and gentlemen, in November. They're talking about maybe holding it at Bretton Woods, which I think might be kind of fun. Actually, I don't see why we don't do it at Jekyll Island. It's kind of a nice island, but I don't know if I'd like to be there in November. Those nor'easters, ooh, rather chilly. Robbie, one more time. We have a Bob Chapman that we have never offered this before, a Bob Chapman special. And what is it for the listeners out there?
It's 100 Corona, dated 1915. It's 0.9805 ounces of pure gold. It is a large coin, larger than a Krugerrand, and As I said, we've never had these on offer before. $999. Order 5 or more. Receive a free subscription to the International Forecaster or an extension. And more importantly, you will also receive a fine ceramic mug courtesy of RBN.
That would be what? $4,995 if my math serves?
Your math's pretty good, brother.
And the shipping is included on that, right?
Yes, it is.
There's the deal. Bob Chapman, I missed you, my friend. I can't take any time off. I get the Joneses here, waiting for your voice.
Well, it's understandable. The three caballeros here.
All right, gentlemen, we're out of time. Thank you, Bob Chapman.